And then Ray Dean has never responded to anything ever. So I don't know about that. And then Tiffany has been responding pretty well, but she hasn't responded to any messages today. So she would probably listen if we sent it to her.
All right, perfect. I'll record it, and we'll just jump right in. So really, when we're thinking about, we had 1 week down, and we really only got to do like the end of October. And so I was talking to some other girls, and I was like, first of all, are you understanding, do each of you understand how the points go? Like how you earn points?
I think so. I think I have like a little format thing that Erin Glover had sent us.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll have to re-look at it.
Yeah, perfect. Because once you understand how those points are broken down, that's going to help you set your goals for the week and help you figure out what you really need to focus on. Of course, Success Club and helping people is a huge part of what we do. Sorry, my son's ventilator went off, and I was like, what's going on? You're sleeping. So that's a huge part of what we do. But, making sure if you are a newer coach, Success Starter, making sure that if you're close to hitting Success Starter, that's a priority for you because that's like 25 points. Or if you hit rank, that you hold it for the entire month. Because I think people have been putting on there like, oh, they hit, like they were coach and they hit Emerald, but then they dropped rank the next week and they kept those points there. You have to hold it. So just make sure, like that'll help you plan your goals for the week. It'll help you really focus on what you need to attack going into the next week. I think it's easier to take it week by week instead of looking at it at the whole month. That's what I do. I have my planner and I just sit out by my weeks and I'm like, my week, I want to help 3 people this week. I want to help 2 of my coaches reach Emerald. So really just take it by then because then you can specify your actions based on your goal. That makes sense?
Yes, absolutely.
Perfect. So what are some struggles that you're coming across as you are like just working your business? Like I know that we all have struggles, and I know my coaches have been, like, what do I do? What are some struggles?
I think I'm just consistency.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the biggest trouble. Like get mode where I just do it, and then all of a sudden I just fall off.
Yeah.
So
what do you think stops you from being consistent?
Probably more personal things that go on in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I think I need to, my personal feeling is I feel like I need to do way more personal development. I mean, because I was doing it a lot, and then like now I'm like tweetering back and forth, and sometimes like I don't know what would be good for me because like I'll like get audibles and stuff and then it's just not speaking to me, so I turn it off and I'm like, okay, now what? Do I listen to something else? What do I do? I think I need some good PD in my life right now.
Yeah. And it's helpful when you're finding PD. Yeah, not everything's going to speak to you at the season of life that you're in. And like you said, it's okay to shut it down if it's not speaking to you at that moment, because you never know. The next season may bring that back and you might be like, yeah, I have that. But like find areas that you're really struggling in. If it is consistency, maybe 5-second rule would be a great thing to listen to.
I did listen to that, and I was like, I need to listen to it again. So I started listening to that again. So good, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
You confirmed that.
And I think this is, I was listening to a call this morning, and I'm going to, like my coaches and I are going to talk about it. I have a vision call with my coaches tonight. And one of the things that they were talking about was, how do you, life happens, right? And for me, my own personal experience is I lived in the hospital with my son for 8 months and ran a business and worked out. And it I mean, like, it had its ups and downs, but, you know, I lived behind glass walls, slept on plastic couches and chairs, and life happens. And it's hard in those moments to be like, how can I even keep going? But one of the things that was really tangible for me when I think about the different seasons is writing out, like, what is the bare minimum that you are willing to do? So, like, if you were like, the bare minimum I am willing to do every day is 5 invites, maybe 10 connections, like whatever that is for you, write that out and then make a commitment to yourself, because it's not about anybody else. It really is about you. And then when you find yourself going, okay, I can make this commitment to myself, and you start feeling good about making that commitment, and you're like, heck yeah, I can do this. Then you can go, you know what? I can start adding like 5 more invites in, or it wasn't as hard as I thought it would be, and just kind of doing something like that, but just making it tangible and real. You don't have to invite 8 million people. I mean, yes, the bigger the goals, the bigger the work, but in the season of life that you're in, you're the only one who can determine what you're going to do and how you're going to be successful. So if you were like, you know what, I can commit to 5 invites a day, do it. Start there, because that consistency is going to build up, because everything you do right now, that is going to help you next month. That's going to help you in January, in December. Like, what we do right now sets the pace for what happens 3 months from now. So, you know, keep that in mind too. Like, what's your vision? What do you want this business to do for you? That's going to help you kind of visualize those goals too, and say, oh, this isn't just about Success Club. This is about me getting towards paying off my debt, or being home with my kids, or whatever that is for you. Then it'll be real, and you're tying emotion into it.
Got it. Sounds good. Absolutely.
Yeah. What about you, Loni? What's behind?
So I was kind of having some confusion / struggles with my connections, but we had our mentor call last week, was on Friday, so it was just like a few days ago, with Kennedy, and that helped a ton. And then I'm still I'm like halfway through Micah's call for you guys from this morning, which is like helping a ton. So I feel like I need to implement those things, because then I'll have a better, I just feel like I'm all over the place. Like, I have my pen and paper, and I have my highlighters, and that helps me kind of keep track, but I still feel like people are falling through the cracks. So that's something I'm going to be working on. But the thing that I wanted to ask about, that I'm kind of, and I've talked to Erin about this, but she's like, yeah, I struggle with the same thing, is like, I'll like send info to people because they're interested. Like I have my little video that I made that explains how my group works, and the form. And the video is in the form, and that was working like really well for me for a while. And most of the people who have filled out my form have ended up joining me. But for some reason, people are getting stuck with like not filling out the form, or like I'll send them the info and then they just like never respond after that. So I don't know if I'm missing something. I could probably ask more questions for sure first. But sometimes when I ask questions first, people just like don't even respond to my questions. So I'm like, they say they want info and then they stop responding. So I'm like, okay, I don't know where to go from there.
I think, so for me, that happened to me a lot too, to where I was getting great responses with my forms. I'd be like, heck yeah, girl, my boot camp's the jam. Like, shoot, fill this out for me. It'll tell you more. I can get a feel for your goals and struggles. It worked, but then it like you said, it just stopped working. And so for me, I was like, I have to switch up the way I talk to people. The delivery's the same, but I basically am just like, I think that Erin put it in one of the threads, but I just created a flow. So if somebody wants info, like say I just invite to my general boot camp, and I'm just like, hey, Kaylani, my November boot camp, I just opened enrollment. Would you want to jump in with me for 21 days of healthy eating, fitness, committing to you for the holidays? Let me know. I'd love to have you in there. And they're like, yeah, like I've been watching your journey and I'm so glad you asked me. Cool. Shoot me the info. And so I'm just like sending them something that's basically like, all right, boot camp is 21 days, 30 minutes fitness, because I do for my 21-day boot camp is usually 21-day fits. just because most people don't have a background in fitness, or they're just starting. And so I'm just like 21 days, 30 minutes a day, super simple nutrition that it works for your goals. We're not dieting. We're setting up progress, not perfection. Does this sound like it would be a great fit for you? And then either they're like, yes, or they're no. And most of the time they're like, yeah, that does sound good. And then the next question, like if they're like, yes, then I'm like, great. Next thing we do is to get you plugged in with the nutrition and fitness. So I'm basically setting the pace for them and setting the conversation for them. So I'm leading them into the closing the sale, and or planting the seed that if they're like, ooh, like I can't afford that right now, then I've already sent them the info. When I send them that second message that says we just got to plug you in with nutrition and fitness, I send them information about I'm like, there's a different options, and then I tell them about like the all access, the workout, you get 30 days of Shakeology or pre and post workout, blah, blah, blah. Here's a graphic. Let me know which one works best for you. And either they're like, great, I want that one. Or they're like, ooh, you know what? I don't know if I can swing it this month and blah, blah, blah. So then it just either goes into a share cart or they go into my, okay, like, girl, I totally get it. I'm not going anywhere. If you need help, I got your back, and I send them a free video. You know what I mean? Like I send them a sample workout. But that has been working for me for the last, I can't even remember the last time I sent out a boot camp application. I had someone randomly fill one out in my link tree. So the rest of it I'm doing myself.
Do you have those like in your Ditto, or are you doing voice message to tell people that stuff?
There was something wrong with my IG. I don't know what was going on, but people would be like, I can't hear your IG, or it won't play. So I just put it in my voice or my text replacement.
Okay.
Yeah, or Ditto, whatever. But I just text replacement. It'll be like I-21 for invite 21, or, and then I'm like info 21, AA pack, and then I tweak it for the month if there's a promotion or whatever going on. So when I'm sending info on the all access pack, I'm like, by the way, it's No Excuses November, so there's $20 off of all of our packs, whichever one works best for your goals. You still get 20% off. It's a great time to start because prices won't be this low ever again.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Sometimes you just got to switch it up. Like if you notice things that are working and then they suddenly stop working, it's not you. I mean, usually it's just like people get busy, or they're like, oh, it's one more thing I have to fill out, or blah, blah, blah. They get busy. They just forget. You just have to take control of the conversation and set the pace. And then that will either bring them in, and if they ghost you, cool. Like whatever. They'll either continue to watch you and they'll be back, or they'll be like, don't ever bother me again. But if they wanted info, then they're going to just keep watching you. And when they're ready, they're ready.
Yeah, that's true.
So what's your goal? Like, Loni, you're pushing for 1 star by the end of the year, or 2 star?
Yeah, 1 star. I mean, yeah, it was 2 star, but I don't have any builders. I know I shouldn't say I don't have any builders, but I've been trying to get my coaches to do stuff, but they aren't. So I just am controlling Scott's, my husband's, and just giving people to him. But it's just like, I have to get Success Club first and then give anyone else to him. Yeah. So like last month, like I only got like SE8. So like I wasn't able to give him a lot. So, I mean, ideally I would be at 1 star by November 21st because I really want to go to leadership or new leader.
Yes.
But yeah, so I'm just like literally every spare second that I have, I'm just like connecting and like doing anything that I can. But yeah, I mean,
sure. What are you? But so you're literally just building Scott right now. You have enough on both legs. You just would need to build Scott.
Yeah, my diamonds is solid. Like
okay.
I mean, every once in a while I'll have someone that I'm like, crap, they're gonna be inactive, and it's gonna, but Scott is emerald, and I just need coaches under him. But it's just I don't know. Whenever I think about it, yeah, because like,
but don't let it stress you.
Like, how do I like get the 2 coaches under him to be emerald? You know what I mean? Like, yeah. I have to have 2 people under him that are both going to want to get a couple people.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know.
Well, and this was going to say, Danielle, what are you pushing for by the end of the year?
Diamonds.
Oh, okay, girl. Yes. Okay. How far are you away from that?
She's not far.
Huh?
You're not far.
I'm not far.
You totally got it.
I know.
You totally got it.
Yeah, I don't know. I have like no, like just like lately, I think ever since I wasn't able to work out, I just have like no confidence in myself, and I need to get that back up. So I
would say for sure, ladies, like you're going to want to up your recruiting game.
Right.
Talking about the coach opportunity, and for you, Danielle, especially because you can't work out. I think that even talking about like the fact that you got to be on a call tonight with leaders and fellow coaches who understand what you go through. You know what I mean? Having that sense of community that people are supporting you no matter what, that they're encouraging you when you don't feel like when you're like, I'm kind of like bummed, you know what I mean? Like, I love this. But really sharing about the coach opportunity, and doing that more. That was one thing that was the game changer for me, was when I started looking at, I need to talk about this business more. I need to talk about how it's blessing me and how it's blessing my family. Doing like an Unfold, making a little thing in Unfold where I, share my transformation. Sometimes I'll share my income progression, which isn't huge. My income progression isn't massive crazy, but it's steady. And there's so many more, like going on the cruise and getting to like do the Success Club trips and doing things like that. Just sharing those things, sharing what you're doing every day for your power hour. Because I think that people are like, I can't do this. It's too busy. I'm too busy. I can't put another thing on my plate. But when you talk about your vision, and again, like I'm just like so about vision, but when you are like, my vision for my life is to bring my husband home from work by 45. He loves his job, but he doesn't want to work past 45. Cool, that's 10 years. I can make this happen in 2 years if I wanted to, right? Like I can make this happen. And I'm looking like, what's going to get me to that goal? 15 stars, superstar diamond. That means I have to talk about the business more and share that and say, my goal is to, bring my husband home so that he doesn't have to go on work trips and I have to be here with my son by myself. And I mean, not like we can't handle it, but I'm like, I miss my husband. I have the next person. So like really sharing that and believing in yourself enough and believing in the business enough and sharing that belief with other people, because people are going to catch your vision and then they're going to get fired up because they're going to be like, wow, Dan has this incredible vision and I want that. I want to put a fence in my backyard. I want to redo my basement. I want to stop this, get rid of this junk car that I have that breaks down all the time that I don't have money to fix. And they look at you and they look at me and they're like, if they can do it, why can't I do it? So we're sharing our belief and our vision, and then we're sending that to other people, and then that gives them the thought like, hey, I could do this too.
Right.
But yeah, like do a sneak peek, with your team, or get you girls together, do a sneak peek, talk about coaching more, drop, if you're going to the post office, there's so many different ways you can share about the business, without being creepy and gross. That I think, and really it just comes down to people trusting you and knowing you and believe and catching your fire, catching your belief. And that's going to make a huge difference in your business.
Right.
For sure.
Yeah, I've been trying to do at least one thing a day in my stories that has to do with coaching.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm hoping that will kind of help. And right now I've been doing this week, all my inviting is to our coach sneak peek, which we're doing one on Friday. So Danielle, if you want to just come into ours, I'm sure Erin wouldn't mind, since
She wouldn't. I'll speak for Erin. She wouldn't.
Yeah,
I know Erin.
I know that she would just love to have you, especially since like we already talked to her earlier tonight.
Okay.
Oh shit.
Perfect.
I have another question real fast. So I don't know. So I just finished my group fitness certification.
Yay.
With AFA. Yeah.
Yay.
So you taught, right?
Yep. Turbo Fire or Turbo Kick.
Yeah. So I just always I've always loved teaching, and I've been wanting to teach group fitness for a while. And I always hear Danielle and Tony talk about how she kind of, incorporates that with her coaching and stuff. And so I'm hoping to get a job soon, in the next week is my goal. Not my goal, but I have an interview tomorrow. But I am wondering if you have tips for how to kind of help these together.
You mean when it comes to just teaching, are you getting a Beachbody certification for a Beachbody Live?
So I don't have a Beachbody Live one, because it's kind of weird, but at Lifetime Fitness, they only use their signature formats, and that's where I got my certification through. So I did an audition there, and she said she'd call me, and she hasn't. So I'm not super expecting her to, because they want you to have a year of experience, and I don't have a year of experience. Okay. Everywhere wants you to have experience. So
but if you got your certification through Beachbody, you could get that year experience and do it at a church. You could do it at church. I don't know if your church will let you do, I just don't know how that works, but you could find community centers. Sometimes you can get permits for the park, because you're in Arizona, right?
No, I'm in Texas, but so yeah, we could still use the park, but I guess my main question is how can I best incorporate my connecting and marketing coaching wise while I'm teaching, because there's all the rules that you can't market yourself and but I'm most likely hopefully going to get hired at the YMCA, because that's where I have interview tomorrow. And so I feel if I'm able to start building those in-person connections, because I feel I do so much better when I'm talking to people in person, and so that's why I've been trying to connect with moms in San Antonio and meeting a bunch of new moms around here. But I'm just wondering being in the gym and building those connections and just I don't know.
I think it's going to be the same thing. I think it's going to be the same thing that you do right now on social media. You're just you're going to start talking to people. You're going to get to know them. You're going to get to know their struggles. And it's better with a face-to-face connection, because I think there's kind of that there's something so much more real about it. Not what we do on social media isn't real, but there's something that's just more personable when you're face-to-face with someone and you're teaching them or you're helping them, either with personal training or group fitness, that they're wow, it just kind of builds this instant trust right away. So I think it's the same thing. You're listening, you're being observant, you're talking about struggles, because you're going to be teaching fitness, which is great. But then what about nutrition? If people are boy, I love this, but I still just can't get a handle on my food, or I'm not seeing the results I want to see. And that's going to take you asking questions, and just really listening to your client's needs. And then you can, build that relationship outside of the gym, just so that, depending on the rules of everywhere, you know what I mean? But that you can be hey, you know what? I'm also Ultimate Portion. I have a nutrition certification through Beachbody, which is my other job that I love and is my passion, and and then say, I do that. And if it's something I'd love to talk with you and see if we have an option that may fit to help you get the best results from this fitness that we get to do together.
Yeah. That'd be awesome. Okay, cool. Thanks.
So just talk, just communicate, listen.
Okay.
Yay.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Congratulations. That's awesome.
Thanks. I just passed my written exam today, so that was exciting. And now it's just getting hired. The lady called me today and asked if I did yoga, which I do have a a small yoga certification, but not like the full on like
right
200-hour thing. But she seems like, I mean, she's like, well, if you could just come in and like do a demo for me and like I was like, okay.
Brush up on all the 21 the 3-week yoga retreat.
Yeah.
Write some stuff down, memorize it, and be like,
yeah,
I got it. I can come up with a routine.
Yeah, I totally can. I've done enough yoga that I can just like do it. But like, yeah, I just am so grateful for all the programs I've done in Beachbody because it's given me so much more experience. Like, it's amazing.
Absolutely. Yeah, for sure. And that's the same way I felt when I was teaching Turbo Kick, is that I was like, wow, like, first of all, I never ever would have thought that I would ever teach a class, like, ever. But yeah, it's incredible. It's incredible what this opportunity can do, just taking us out of our own shell, and, you know, taking us out of our comfort zones to do something great. And it's not even just for us, it's really for other people. So yeah, we're blessed. We're blessed, sisters.
Yeah.
Yay. All right. Well, I'm going to stop recording